Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. I am in favor of this bill like everyone else. This bill has been introduced for the last 3 years and has always been stuck and held for further study, even though so many people have testified about how important this bill is. What the bill does is it simply closes a loophole. It makes it impossible for an officer who has sex with somebody in handcuffs or under their control or in custody to claim that it was consensual, and it's because our practice has always been that if you're in a situation where it's very hard to make the kind of decision you would as a free and independent person, like if you're very intoxicated, the law says that's not a situation where you can give consent. Even though in theory somebody who's very intoxicated could be willing to have sex, it's also a situation where it's very hard to make a free and independent decision, so the law says that's a situation where there's no consent. And being in handcuffs, being in police custody is the same kind of situation. It's a very easy law to comply with because all police officers have to remember to do is don't have sex with somebody in custody. As long as they can follow that, they are at no risk whatsoever from this bill. And if they want to have sex with somebody in custody, and the other person in custody is willing, they can. That can happen when that person is no longer in custody. But allowing sex between officers and somebody in their custody creates far too many opportunities for abuse. It's not a situation where most people can make a free and unconstrained choice. I don't know anybody who could not feel under pressure there. So it should be. We should just establish this clear rule and ask officers to follow what the rules will say in the law, because officers are used to following what the law says. It's a common sense standard. I do not know how any decent person could willingly suggest sex to somebody who's in handcuffs or under their power in custody. So putting this in the law creates a bright line, which is easy to follow. It will not result in any unjust prosecutions. If the officer is coerced or forced somehow by somebody in their custody, this bill provides a clear provision for the officer to be let off. That's an affirmative defense. But in any case, I support this bill, and it should not be held for further study any longer. It should be passed this year. Thank you.